Hello, and welcome back to the fourth episode of Women in Trades, the 4%. I cannot believe that we're already recording the fourth episode, but I'm super excited because today I have here with me Caitlin, and she is an Army veteran and a crane operator. And she is going to start us off by telling us all about how she got into her job and how long she's been at it.
Hey everyone, I am Caitlin, and I enlisted in the Army at 18. I served for about 7 years, and that's when I got my first taste of blue collar. I was driving semis, I was running boom trucks, and it was the best time of my life. I absolutely loved it and thrived in that environment. As for getting into the civilian sector of the trades, I started that 4 years ago. So 2020, I had tried the medical field before kids. I thought that was it. Like, I'm gonna be a nurse. Got in there and just not my cup of tea. And then I decided I was gonna try out the educational field. Got in there, was still going for it, and then I became a stay-at-home mom, and I'm like, I cannot handle being around somebody, 30 other children all day long. So went back to my roots. I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. I enjoyed this. So let's go run some equipment. And it's been a blast since.
That's awesome. I wondered if the Army was kind of like your background and what got you interested in that. Were you able to travel a lot when you were in the Army as well?
I did not go overseas. I did a lot of traveling up and down the West Coast, a lot of long drives through the desert in California. I'm originally from California, and then I've traveled to Louisiana, Kentucky, and various places throughout Indiana and St. Louis area.
I gotcha. That's awesome. So, what was the process like to get to where you currently are in your career as far as like education and everything went?
A lot of studying. Taking a test is one thing, but going out into the field and actually running equipment is completely different, So, yes, you have to take all these exams to get to where you want to be, but just because you pass your test doesn't mean you're a crane operator. You can't go out on a job and do X, Y, and Z. It's not the same as taking the CCO course where you got to make some zigzags and put the hook in a bucket, and it's not the same, but that doesn't mean it's not. I mean, if you put your mind to it and you put in the work, you can do it.
So, I know like up here in Michigan for a lot of our crane companies, are you union currently?
No, I'm not.
Okay, gotcha. Neither am I. I like to always ask though. But like for a lot of the crane companies up here, the guys have to work as oilers for a certain amount of time before they were a crane operator. So did you have to do any of that or no?
Yeah, so I actually gained a lot of knowledge with rigging and things like that when I was in the service. So
Oh,
then when I
nice.
got into the civilian sector of this thing or this field, I already had a lot of knowledge. So the contractor I'm with, they sent me to a program and I went and got my journeyman riggers card or whatever they
Yeah.
call it. And you do a lot of, I was a rigger for a while too. So it is a good way to get your foot in the door
Yeah.
and to be around the equipment because that's a big change for a lot of people.
Yeah. What inspired you to go into the army in the first place?
9/11.
Okay.
So since I was in grade school, I knew it was something I was going to do.
That's
Um,
awesome.
that was it. I mean, I had my heart set on serving. I didn't
That's
care what
awesome.
branch growing up, but once it came down to it, I went Army and I, but sometimes I wish I would have gone Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go into the Navy when I was growing up, but it obviously didn't end up happening for me. But that is awesome that it kind of got you like onto the path that you're on now and it opened up some doors for you.
Yeah.
So what kind of job sites do you normally work on like a day-to-day basis?
So I've done a lot of refinery work.
Mhm.
Powerhouses is where I started. I started honestly on forks. and doing powerhouse work. I've done substations. We've been setting trusses for Habitat for Humanity and then setting trusses for various like apartment complexes and things like that. But AC units seem to be a hot commodity right now. Like that
Yeah.
is where it's at. So that's been my biggest thing. I mean, I'm going on random job sites and there's been a lot of like grain mills and things like that, which is new to me because I'm not used to being there. And like at first it smells like top ramen and it makes you hungry. And then it's like the longer you're there, you're like, this is repulsive. Like,
Yeah.
cannot
Are
do it.
Are those similar to like the ethanol refineries? They usually have like grain mills in the ethanol refineries as well,
I
because it's like a whole slew of smells there.
there's a few that we've been to that are like that. And then there's one that I don't even know what they do with the grain, honestly.
Yeah.
But at first they smell good and then they don't. And then like oil refineries, they're awful. I mean, you make good money there, but I get a migraine every time.
Yeah, it's big money in the refineries.
Hmm.
I'm currently working in this plant and they make like insulation, I guess would call it, but it's like the material that like dashboards and stuff in your cars made out of.
Okay.
But it's all made out of like this really fine plastic dust and powder. And it like I'm like, this is a cancer factory. And not only that, but they use like radiation there to change the makeup of it and stuff. And dude, like I get migraines so bad there from like all the dust and like I'm like
I can't, I
they're
bet.
like we already have so many microplastics in us, but I'm like after working at this factory, like I am like 100% full of that crap and I know it.
So where I live, we have some pretty major refineries around us. Country Mart, Valero, like surrounding my little city. And I'm like, this is like everybody here is going to die of cancer. Like there's
Yeah,
no other alternative. Like
literally.
all of this is just going up in the air. But it's sketch. When I first got into the trades and I was walking around job sites and seeing different things, I'm like, how no wonder OSHA exists. Like,
It's alarming at first.
yes, it's a huge change.
Yeah, especially I know like I was literally like 21 when I started in the trades, so I don't think I'm ever going to work there again, but like one of the job sites that I was on a lot was Pfizer and like just being like such a young girl at Pfizer, like it's just weird. Like I'm like I should not be allowed to be here, I feel like, like now obviously I have experience and I'm older and I don't feel that way, but at first it was like culture shock and like overwhelming, like because you don't realize like that stuff exists, but like until you're there like at a plant and you like really realize like holy cow, like what
What
goes
all goes
into
into it, yes.
it's insane.
My mother and my sister work in mental health. My mom runs a nonprofit organization and has a bunch of counselors working underneath her. So, like, that's her field. And then when I started working in powerhouses, I'd be like, Mom, look at this. This is what crushes up all the coal. And then it goes over here and then it burns and then it does this. And she's just like, and she's still in California. So they're used like solar panels and like, they're still burning coal. I didn't even know that was a thing still until I moved to Indiana.
Yeah, yeah, we are the Midwest is crazy out here.
It's a little wild.
We are stuck in the dark ages.
I mean, I appreciate it because it gives us all work. But at the same time, it's like, this is a major health hazard.
It definitely is. So do you have your CDL? Like, do you have to drive your own crane to site normally?
I have my CDL permit, so I'm able to drive with another operator with me. I actually work hand in hand with another female, and we go out on jobs together and take turns driving, take turns operating and rigging and doing everything. And I'm very fortunate to work with her because not only is it amazing to work with another woman in the trades, but to be so close knit. And then we become friends outside of work too. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. But
Dude, Go
Go ahead.
ahead, sorry.
You're fine.
I wish my company would hire some women because there were like 3 of us when I started my apprenticeship, and one girl went to the union, so, like, good for her, she's still at it, but I don't know what happened to the other girl.
There's only two of us that work in the field for our
Mhm.
company. And I mean, we're well respected, right?
Yeah.
The other guys we work with are all amazing. We got a couple that are somewhere in Kentucky, and there's another gentleman here where we work, and he's also so full of knowledge. Like, I try to absorb as much as I can from him, but having another woman where it's pretty badass.
I yearn for that. I literally do. Like, even if it's like an apprentice, like if I could teach someone, especially, like that would be awesome. But like at this point, I'm like, because even like when I end up on a big job and maybe there will be another woman there, like I'm doing, I'm on and off of like a country club, like a really big country club job, and there's a woman, but she is like an operator for like the excavators and stuff, and she's just like always in equipment, like, so obviously we never get to talk
You
to
don't
each
get to
other.
cut up and
Right.
hang out or
Yeah, so
anything.
it's
Yeah.
like different, but I'm like, yeah, I really wish that we would get another pipe fitter girly hired, but maybe I'll work on that.
One of my best friends, she and I met on my very first job in the trades, and we have been tight since. And she is a female Boilermaker, and there's not too many, but the female Boilermakers in her local, she's union, that I have met are all so supportive of the others. And it really, it can get discouraging sometimes because like we all want to support, I can't say we all, but a large majority of us are like here to support the other women in the trades.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll get like a bad apple. It's like, man, come on, there's not many of us. Like we gotta unite. We need to be proud of each other.
Yes, like there's so few of us, and some of
4%.
us, yes, and some of us like already have like struggles as it is. So we definitely do need to be always supporting each other when we get the chance. And that's why I love like what you and I and pretty much everyone I've had on, like, we do with our social medias. We encourage other women, like even if we're not on the same job site, like that there's other women there and they're going through the same thing and they support. We're not all haters. We're not
No,
all there for like male attention or the
no,
male gaze.
no. We're the opposite of what all of their wives are thinking. Like, I
But,
promise. I don't want him says.
like, we've heard how he talks about you. Come on, we don't want
Have
that.
you, we watch him eat in the break shacks. Like, that's enough.
That too. I've smelled him on a 90-degree day. I'm good. I'm good.
No. Ugh,
Yes.
man.
So, if you could give one big piece of advice to a woman who either wants to go into the army or into a trade, any male-dominated field, what would you say?
Okay. The army, I haven't thought about that in a long time. But if we're going to stick with the trades, my biggest piece of advice is first of all, wear sunscreen because we don't want wrinkles and we're all outside. Second of all, put the phone down, and that kind old man that, is probably really grouchy, but if you talk to him, listen to him and ask him for tips and tricks. Ask him how to make, in your case, your welds look better, whatever. And my side, like, how do I make this run smoother? What do I need to do? Show me what I'm doing wrong. Put the phone down and ask and listen, because they've probably all been doing it since they were 18 and are probably pretty dang good.
Yes, it's amazing once they realize that you're interested and you are there to learn and you want to learn. They love to share that knowledge with
They
you,
do.
especially if you absorb it.
But you need to put the phone down. Don't be sitting there texting or Snapchatting while he's sitting here showing you what to do. And I know it's
Yeah,
easy for all of us to just pick it up because it's right there in your pocket. But pay attention because there might be something in there that you are able to grasp onto and utilize every day and just improve yourself in your career and make yourself more employable or a bigger asset for your company.
absolutely. Yeah, that's the main reason that I wanted to learn how to weld because originally I was just doing like the pipe fitting apprenticeship,
Hmm.
but I was like, like I'm pretty small, so like they didn't hire me for my strength. They didn't hire me because I'm super strong. I was like, I need to find a way to make this really valuable. So I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to weld, and like being so small, they can put me like literally just a few days ago. I was working with my boss and he was welding, but he couldn't even like fit in the area to make the weld and I had to like take over and make the weld for him. So I'm like, I don't know, you just have to find what ways you can be the most valuable to your company no matter what your trade is. Like there is some way that you can be an asset. Like
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if mine's just, being the hype man some days.
that's me
Not like
some
I got to
days
offer you guys
too.
today, but I'll hype you up.
Yeah, some days they need that support and the hype man in the background.
Right. Like we can all go in on a Monday and be like, oh man, this ain't it. I'll still crack a little joke.
Yeah.
We'll be all right. We can make it through this. But yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to come on here. And I have a question for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Ask away.
So you got into the trades at 21.
Yes.
What were you doing in your little between graduating high school and getting into the trades? What sent you there?
So I had zero experience or knowledge of like the trades. Like in high school I did career center, but I did digital media and graphic design. And then I went to like a community college and did nursing school. But while I was doing that, I was also like working third shift at a factory, like, and then I'd have like anatomy and physiology class in the middle of the day. And it was not like it was going bad. Like, I could have done okay at college if I wasn't working 50 plus hours a week, especially like nursing
Mhm.
school. But then I was like, "All right, I'm gonna change my major to business." Um, and that was going like okay, but I hated it. Like mostly online college and like I mostly just like fucked around. But then honestly, my mom ended up drowning in the ocean in front of me on spring break and I just stopped. I stopped. I didn't take my exams like I cuz I was so distraught.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, like, nobody
I'm so
ever expects that
sorry.
to happen. It's okay, and, like, it sounds crazy, but, like, it's what got me to where I am now because I really don't know what I would have done. Like, my mom like, I used to make, like, palette signs in high school and stuff, and my mom would, like, make my stepdad use the Sawzall to cut them up for me, like, nobody trusted me with power tools, like, because I had never used them. But so my dad, he was like, "Well, like, get an apprenticeship," because I was working at the plumbing department in Menards, and I was like, "I don't know what an apprenticeship is, but whatever, I'll try it." And I did, and the first day, like, I went out on a construction site, and I was like, I had no idea, like, I thought I was gonna be like a residential plumber, and it was like industrial, refineries, pipe fitting, like, it was but I loved it, like, right away, like, I've had 8 jobs in 1 year before, and, like, I've been at my company over 5 years now, like, my motto is if you're not happy doing something, don't do it, change, like, life is too short, find what makes you happy, and, like, I did find what makes me happy, thank
I
God.
love that.
Yeah.
I'm sure your mom's sitting there cheering you on. She's like, she's welding.
Dude, she would shit her pants, literally, like, she
That's
would
not
shit her
safe.
pants. She was crazy, so, like, she would fully support it, but it would just be, like, the most unexpected arc because, like, I never had any interest in that, like, I was a girly girl, like, I never expected this for myself, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, I am happy and I love seeing your videos. I love seeing all of we have like a smaller group on TikTok, but we all have a pretty decent following and
Yeah.
all of us just supporting each other makes me so, like, it makes my heart all warm and fuzzy, you know? I'm just like,
We have the best community, like, literally, it makes me so happy, and I love seeing your videos too. I feel like we've been friends on TikTok for literally, like, a couple years now.
probably.
Yeah, it's been a
Before I
minute.
got before I got into the trades, my TikTok was all like stay-at-home mom life, you know? And then I get
Mhm.
in and it just completely took a turn and I'm just like, "Oh, this is even better." Like, I love this.
My account, like, my same account that I use, like, I used to have a lot of houseplants, like 300 houseplants. It was too many. Yeah, it was I had greenhouses inside because I had a 5-bedroom house with, like, my friends, a huge house. So I could now, but I don't want to again, it's too much work. But, like, my whole account was my houseplants, like and then one day I got burned really bad and I, like, posted a video of it, and it blew up, and that's, like, what made my TikTok, like, a trades account, I guess, and then I just ran with it because 'cause I'm like, "This is fun." I found all these other, like,
Females,
people yeah, women, and even just, like, the networking in general, I'm like, "Shit," like, if anything ever did happen, I'm pretty sure I could go anywhere in the country and get a job.
for sure. My biggest video that went viral, completely embarrassing. I was told to go check the fluid levels on this crane. And I open it up and I'm like pulling out the dipstick and whatever. Next thing you know, oil's just blowing out onto me because I didn't turn the motor off. So I'm sitting there batting at it like this, like it's gonna stop.
That
And
will do it.
that'll do it. Here I am now.
Literally, it's the videos that you don't even want to go viral, but
Let go.
that's hilarious. I need to go find that after
So embarrassing, but I'm just like, whatever, we're running with it.
Okay, hundreds of thousands of people just saw that, I
Yeah.
guess, like, hmm.
500,000.
Yep. No big deal.
No.
No big
They probably
deal.
won't ever meet me, but then again, they might because I'll be getting phone calls from other females on here that are like, "What? What part of the state do you live in? I'm driving through right here," and I'm like, "Dang it, you're 3 hours away." Like, no, not close enough.
The last question that I have for you would be, what's your biggest success been so far in your career that you would say?
I think the biggest success that I've had would be that I don't have to rely on anybody because I've been able to build myself up.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I have family that supports me and everything else, but like my house and my car, and like I don't have to rely on anybody for anything because I just keep striving to do better and do better and do better. And being able to have that and have the ability to say, no, I don't have this because of so and so or something like that has been pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. The independence that you can gain when you join the trades is awesome because I also at 27, I own my own house, I own my own car, like, and nobody can take that away from us,
Nope.
like, awesome. Well, thank you again, I really enjoyed talking to you.
You
I
too.
will I will put your social media in the bio for this episode so you
Okay.
guys can go and follow her, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.